Papa Joe Feliz. Présidente Gay-Marie. Tante Philippe. Docteur Bayeto. C'est à Marcel. Ni a won gagnon. Au moins yo. Yeah. Après, ajakuya so. Kanyo dia kanao. Emeno. So, emeno. Ta fly ya guada o. Asa kwa gudi. No amu abotan. Ji. Sbi Laurent, Sbi Antoine. Keina Paul. Paul Wallace. Apo Joasenyo. Oderi Webepa.
Good evening. Welcome to the show. Good evening. Welcome. This is Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv, taking you to neighboring La Côte d'Ivoire this evening. This special edition, All Things Considered. Alison Mamins, good evening and welcome. And here come the man, Mazi Kamara. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for your service to the community. Let's, in the interest of African solidarity, let's go to La Côte d'Ivoire this evening. TJ Jala. T Jala, good evening. Welcome. Helen Zle, good evening. Welcome to the show. When you see the man playing this music, then the crown guy wants to go to Grand Yida this evening. But hey, it can just happen. It's not possible. But we gotta do that. I'm a traditionalist. I believe in our culture, you know. Mama Veronica, Edison say, let's just take it easy. Take care of my guy, or just take care, you know. Welcome, Mr. Brooks, in the house. Oh man, I want to fly to go to Grand Yida County this evening. Where is there any direct flight here, by the way, Bazi, you know? And this is all things considered right here this evening. Aha. I hear you. Let's hope one another. Let's go. Let's hope one another. Then build Liberia. Let's start the divisive politics. And when I'm going to Grand Yida, I'm going to translate right in my country. Dulake are going to pick me up. I'm going to get some GB before I pass on. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I got to go through Bon County because the far right Amos George is there. Sese is off the road, way in Lofa. When I will go Lofa and come back before I can do like finish taking the GB off all the way. Welcome, my own sister Anna is in the house from Minneapolis. All right, well, folks, you know, sometimes we gotta a little bit poke into this whole conversation here, and this is how we're gonna do it. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with us here, as usual. This is Afonso Z and so, and every Wednesday is All Things Considered. I know quite a long while now we have not come up with this program. We decided to throw this one in. Every Wednesday will be All Things Considered to give you, the viewers, the listeners, participants, and even the analysts to decide exactly what they want to talk about, because we just do not know it all. But we also want to make sure that we have all of you involved. And when the number is posted out there, you don't necessarily have to flow with the moderator. All you have to do is just, you know, go with what you have, what you feel that is important, because sometimes we don't talk about some of those things that are important to you. And so it's important that we have all of these into context. I'm Afonso Z and Salt of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Welcome to this show. This is All Things Considered. Here, and I thank you, Facebook. It was just strictly an entertainment. We have no absolute authority on this song that was playing, but just to entertain our folks this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday evening. I'm Afonso Z, and so thank you so much for joining us here. We will get the ball rolling right away to kick the program of this evening. To what you are considering, I just do not know. Welcome to the show. Good evening, welcome. I'm Afonso Zenso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv, right here from the New England Bureau. This wet Wednesday evening here in the East Coast. I'm not sure how your end looks like, but right here in the East Coast here this evening, I'm not sure if all of the part of the East Coast, but right here at Rhode Island, Massachusetts, it is wet, very wet day out there. But by the grace of God, everything is okay. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for sharing this May week with us this Wednesday. Simply because the love of your country, and that's why we are here, and this is why we want to keep this conversation proportionate. My man Kamara, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for giving back. All of us in different forms and shape, we are doing what we're supposed to do. Then it requires energy, it's time consuming. You won't believe it. Sometimes leaving from work and then you come, you just go behind the microphone, boom, because you want to get the information out there. It's tiring. It is very, very much exhausting. So you won't believe. Sometimes you're driving, coming home, you're sleeping, but it's a commitment. This is something that we sign up for, and you are committed to the process. In this light, if we are coming on Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, whatever the days might be, if we are tired, we have to do it because you are looking out there. It's a kind of covenant we feel that we are obligated to do, and we have to do it, especially at a time when so much is unfolding, a lot is happening within our country, outside of our country, and we are all eager to know what is going on. So it is important that we have these conversations. But trust me, our talking point might not, or most likely will not pivot in your direction because of your political choice. And likewise, we on the other end, and I can tell you, but what is important is you also expressing interest and passion for your country. And the way you talk, the way you do things is because some sort of frustration factoring in, and you want to see the best out of your country. But all what we can say, we must exercise tolerance, goodwill, passion, and be able to listen to one another, even if you disagree with me. And if I disagree with you, I should be able to listen to you because that will provide a perfect venue for us to have a conversation. I shouldn't be the one that you listen to me, I can listen to you. It doesn't work like that. And so we always have to do that to make sure that respect, that courtesy is given to all of us, even to you, the viewers, the listeners, the followers. Not that you are bored, not that you don't have anything to do, but you are eager, you are anxious, you want to see the good of your country. And so this is why you leave from one network to another network because of the passion and the hopes and aspirations. Let us not give up. It is not easy. We will get there. But we have to have a civil conversation. And this is why all of those actors, stakeholders, politicians that are so much desiring to be president, representative, senator, we have to ask them. And for those of you who supporting them, it's a good thing to have a political pick to decide which way to go. No one can direct you, no one can make your choice. But remember, your decision is not just only your decision, but it's a decision for me, for others who might have disagreed with you. And importantly, you are given that authority. Antonin, these people, when we elect them, they become like a lawyers for us, the lawmakers. Whether you voted for them or not, concessions, laws are made. Do you go to Capitol to go vote when they are in chambers? No. The proxy, our affairs, they have the authority now to decide for all. So we are giving these people that sort of authority. It's an absolute authority. We are giving them for 6 years, for 9 years. Senator, can you imagine somebody will be making decisions in your behalf for 9 consecutive years, unbroken one? Even if they're doing the wrong thing, the bad thing, but they are making decision. They're paying book of bills, they are making the decision. No nothing, no any piece of legislation to improve your constituent, your area for which you voted for them, but they will be making the decision. And we know some of us made bad choices in the past. Put that behind you. It's done already. They've been there, they are coming again. You remember that song? They are coming again. They're coming, they're going to restructure, they're going to rephrase, they're going to design, they're going to wear all of the nice purple suits. They're going to be like a chameleon, changing colors in multiple contexts because they need that vote. But also remember, you are giving them authority to decide, to make critical decision for you. They're coming to you now, but when they are ready to make these critical decisions, they don't go to constituencies that supported them. They don't go back to those supporters. Only a few handful of people who get their ears and who move in line with them, those are the people that share notes with. They don't have time for the ordinary Liberians, other people who supported them. No, those days are gone. And this is why they are heavily using what we call this financial violence to persuade you. And they are aware because of the high condition, high living cost in the country. Money is powerful. And you know, I know right in this country itself, money it breaks the gap. It makes way out of no way. The conversation is about to get interesting. The liberal progressive of the Liberia Public Radio. I don't know what's going on with his party. He deserted his party, Liberty Party. Yeah, he claimed to be a card holder, but he put a hook on the cleverly. He doesn't want to be part of what is happening in Liberia. He's part of the Liberty Party USA. Can you imagine? That's been very disingenuous. He supported the candidacy of Ambassador Joseph Boyka. We are hearing extensive conversation is ongoing. Meanwhile, I've been told by a close source familiar with this, Benana Yuri is gradually backing off of the presidency. Guess where he wants to go? He wants to go back to Maritime, where Ambassador Boyka is elected. Nyomli Kanga seems to be the favorite, and I think the Liberal is happy over that. What is happening with the Liberty Party ANC, who is now on life support? Have you heard a new song ANC released? I think we need to make our own song. Abraham, you better try to get your own song. Let me bring in the Liberal Progressive. He's based in California, Saxtown. Okay, here we go. Where's the... If I be here for you. Oh Lord. Liberia is in crisis. Now we are. Are you serious? Why the one come out of that? You told me, the Liberal, good evening and welcome.
Good, Mr. Soul. Thank you very much for having us again tonight. We're here to once again do our job. The uniform that I'm wearing right now is a press uniform, and I am a member of the press. Member of the press union of Liberia. I've duly certificated. You can say I have all my credentials. So we're getting ready for the election. The press is getting ready for the election.
Oh, are you the future presidential press secretary to Ambassador Boyka if elected? That's a preparation?
Mr. So once again, I let me disabuse you on this here. I don't know these people. They don't know me. I just admire. I'm just an admirer of Ambassador Boyka, and I'm not running campaign for Ambassador Boyka. Whatever they do over there, that's what they do. And with respect to Liberty Party, I am Liberty Party USA. I'm not former member yet. You can say dormant if there's such thing. You can say that because I have not participated in all the Liberty Party USA activities for quite a while. But as far as I'm concerned, they have not kicked me out yet. And I'm hoping that somebody will call me and say, you're no longer a member of Liberty Party USA, and I'll be kicked out.
Are you willing to go if you are kicked out?
Definitely. Look at Kofa. Kofa, who used to be chairman. Kofa was Liberty Party USA. He left, he went back and became chairman of Liberty Party Liberia. Where is he now? CDC. So anybody you come out and say Samson told you're no longer a member of Liberty Party USA, so be it. So be it.
Okay. All right. How is the midweek Wednesday going so far, Liberal? I say, how's your midweek the Wednesday going?
So far so good. So far so good. The kids are doing well. The wife is almost finishing her program. She will be back here very shortly. with her certificate and the degree she wants. But we're happy about that. This boy, the Marine, he's Marine. He's out there doing his thing. He's in the Marine. I mean, I'm happy about that. The other law student, he's over there doing his law business. I'm happy about that as well. The kids back home, they're there. All the other, life is just good. I thank God for life. I thank God for life. We're still here. We'll continue to be here with you guys, and we'll pray that we'll be here for a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even though, they're just saying no bad boy for a child, ain't as horrible as you are, but it's good that you're always around. Your views always kind of like put the real.
But Mr. So, people love me. That's why you don't understand. Mr. So, people love me. They love my view. They appreciate my view. They admire my view. My liberal view is trending right now on social media, Mr. So you can't do nothing about that. People love me. They love me. They love to see the liberal every day.
So who are those people you are referring to?
Mr. So we got right now, you got over 300 people watching you. And out of that 300, I would say 75% of them love the liberal.
You behave just like Donald Trump. You remember when he assembled his cabinet and you were like asking them and things like that. That's how. Why are you so addicted with this? People love me. People love me. What is the rationale behind it?
Well, there's nothing behind it. I'm just being truthful. I'm not. They fail here. You see, they fail. Oh, you're not eat crab with she. I tell you the truth. People love me. I can't hide it. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not bashful, but I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm loved by folks.
Okay, we can't do the same thing over and over. Interestingly, there's oh no, he's not your guy. I don't want you to flip off here. The Abdullah guy. He was a keynote speaker somewhere. They launched a new song and all of that. So I don't know why they complain if George Weah is singing, because everybody is in this singing or liking this song business. You may launch a new song today. Let's take a little pick at it and see.
That in the business you catching fever, getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. We coming, we coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet up, we coming. Now I watch you come and we coming. When the year is been checking you again, guys,
So I don't know. Dolaka is part of it.
Mr. So.
We're in trouble.
Mr. So, let me say this very quickly, and then I'm anybody can bring it all. It doesn't matter to me. But let me tell you this very quickly. You can't. Not because everybody dancing or everybody singing, everybody you're gonna do. You have to find your niche. When Ambassador Baka, when Dr. Weah is singing, he can dance. That song you play right now, come here, able to dance it? You put that song and put Kumi on the floor. You think that disco dance, you come and do that kind of dance? Kumi? That disco dance, you think you come and do it with NTR? This song here, that real traditional song. Where you go and rock it on one side, that you will put finger on it, and that. Man, coming to it, you gotta be serious, man. You're bringing something that
I don't think you listened to this song here ago.
I did. That real traditional song. That one you'll be putting finger on. You did that disco. You going to that? I beg you, man.
But you want to go back in the studio to read to change it?
Huh?
So what is the Russian? The politics is getting to be very interesting. Is it part of the political culture in Liberia now to kind of grow momentum for the politicians to get their message? Because, there are so many ways that you can communicate with people out there. And I think it plays out 2017. We saw that song with those, how do you call them, those boys, the CDC song, that's that song. We saw that there is some sort of eye-catching in that song as well. So I think you're going to move in that direction.
Mr. So to be let be serious a little bit. Kumi's song here, most Kumi's people are brilliant. Those people that put this song are truthfully, they're brilliant. Because the music, the beat of it goes to a specific region. That beat that you look at over there, that beat does not exist in the southeast. That beat is Bon County, some part of Nima, Lofa County.
The targeted group.
Yes. Listen to that beat. Listen to that beat of that song. Listen to that beat of that song. When you go upward Nima, coming towards southeast, the song and the beat is different than it is when you're coming to Lofa, Bon County, Mount Gilead. The beat is different. And that's particular something. Just listen to forget about the lyrics, just the beat alone will tell you exactly which area they're targeting. And I thought that was very brilliant. I thought that was, I put fun of the dancing part of it, but on a very serious, I thought that was very brilliant. And if you have people that, because here's what they're doing with this music business. The music business now, they're using it as a way to get their message across. They're using it to get people get involved. Okay, so music like this, for example, if they take it to and I'm not trying to be sectional now, right now, please let us don't do that. But if they take this music to the Gola land, people will start dancing immediately. If they take it to the Vi land, if they take it to Gisi land, all of those places, people will start, because that's the kind of beat they have. And it'll be easy for somebody to jump out of their chair and start dancing. Don't have to think twice about it.
I did hear like a bass rhythm also embedded within that song.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. People, all of that area coming from, but not all Bassa now, because once you start passing Grand Bassa going to all crew, you're not going to get that kind of a beat, that different beat from that side. The crew, Sino County crew beat is go back, it take you back to Ghana. That the crew beat. Whereas these people are saying, take it. Oh, don't make me start singing at the moment. I love the music. I love this. I love the beat. No, but truthfully, I think that these people that are involved, they're doing a very good job. Very brilliant people that are involved, because they're not trying, and they're not trying to say for this specific area. But if the music get in your ear, those who will get up quickly to dance, those are the targeted people, I would say.
Okay, so this is all things considered. So we're going to pull string here. And I was talking to a former government official, very smart, well-equipped, informed of the politics of Liberia, good guy involved in numerous political engagement. And he was telling me the opposition are not doing enough. Enough in the sense, he said the opposition by this time, they should have engulfed the entire 15 political subdivision, so that when the president returned, he would have a lot of explanation to do, because by then they have taken a survey. That is not happening. And this seems to realize what they are doing is not enough. Because when George Weah returns to Liberia, you listen to what was unfolding today at the CDC, I believe either their headquarters, but it was little ceremonies of their party officials, the overnight event that took place. They say it was good. People came, delegates exercised their goodwill. We give it to them as they explain it. That thousands of these seditions will be pulled from all over to welcome their president.
Well, that is, Mr. So, I told you, I predicted that here.
I think you just said that they don't want to do. Was that yesterday? No, day before. Way before that.
I told you exactly what they're going to do. That's what CD, and this is the sad part. This is the sad aspect of CDC and Dr. Weah Handler. They are not, those who handling Dr. Weah, they are not equipped. Mr. So, I love myself. Please put me back on that. Why you take me all the way people can see me and put me close to the TV? Please, I'm enjoying myself. The other people not here right now. Let me enjoy myself more. Then when they come, you can do that kind of thing to us. Yeah, we go. Thank you. I love it. And folks, I love myself. I know people love me out there. Even like, bro, they call me, hey, Mr. So, bro, we love you. They love me. But no, on a very serious note, Mr. So, I told you here the other day, what CDC, and if I were involved, truthfully, and on a very serious note, if I were involved with these people, there is no way that anybody will try to beat Dr. Weah. Nobody. Because first thing is, sedition, and everyone in Liberia knows that Dr. Weah didn't come to the position because of his leadership ability. He doesn't have that. We all know that. He was elected popular because of popular position, not even position because of his popularity. Now, if Dr. Weah, before even he gets there, Molu, if he get on the air right now, and say, Dr. Weah coming so time, I want all CDC to find army boots. 1-4 army boot. Everybody wear 1-4 army boot. They're not going to come to the headquarters and ask Monu where we'll find it. They will go and find it and buy it themselves. If you say, I want Dr. Weah picture on our army boot, they're not going to go and find printing press. They will do it themselves. That's what CDC is for. That's what they do. And that's what they're very good at. However, the separation, the separation between Dr. Weah and the sedition, the true sedition, is huge. By those who put Dr. Weah in a bubble. Well, if you're going to put him in a bubble, first of all, you must be able to understand CDC mantra. What is CDC? Jefferson Kochi is not in between anymore. They say they're running, but they're not close to the president. They're running the grassroots, but they're not close. The president is far removed from them. So I said this here the other day, just 2 days ago, that when he's coming, sedition will go to the airport to meet him. They will plow that Oakley Ralphie highway that people are getting hurt on. They will not look at it. They will go and meet this president. Because that's what they do. And when they ask CDC, anybody that were involved since 2005 up to this any election that CDC is participating in, sedition, they don't wait until their leader buy T-shirt for them. They buy their own. They print it themselves.
Okay, let me hold you there a little bit. We saw that unfold in 2017. Is that momentum still alive today?
It's a court. Let's put it that way. Yes. The issue now is that this is what I'm saying to and I've got to be very careful because I don't want to give them an idea to start running on my idea and win election. I don't want them to win election. But I'll be truthful. Whether they take my idea, I will be truthful. This is what I'm saying. When Mona Peno was alive, the connection between CDC and the sedition and the hierarchy, Ambassador Weah, it was there. It was huge. When Jefferson Kochi then got arrested, Ambassador Weah was there. When Monu then were doing the demonstration in the street and they got in trouble, Ambassador Weah was there. Since Samuel 12 accident, I've been perusing the entire social media. I've not seen anything from this president to express sympathy publicly. Maybe he has done it. I know he has contacted the family. But that is the disconnect. That is the disconnect. Now, people who were involved in the accident in Nima County, the member of CDC have relatives in Nima County. Why is it that this president up to this time has not made any statement to ease out the pain of sedition who are connected? It's not coming. Why? Because those the handler, let me say this again, the people who handling Dr. Weah, these are the people that are separating him from the me sedition, and they will suffer for it.
Is he aware of that he's being disconnected?
Well, they keep telling him, no, he's not aware of it. I don't believe he is. I don't believe he is. What I think is happening, and that's my opinion, I'm entitled to it. What I think is happening, Mr. So, is this. Dr. Weah, for example, he's going to be showing up here soon in Liberia. And the entire street from the entire highway from Ralphie all the way will be packed with people. Why do you think he will think that he's doing something wrong? Because this is what CDC will say, sedition will line up. But they are lining up, it's with different value and with different understanding than that of what Dr. Weah is understanding. Dr. Weah understanding because he's in a bubble. When he see these people in line, yeah, these people love me, are doing good. Whereas CDC be in line, it's not because Dr. Weah is doing good, but because they're defending their ideology of CDC.
Let's come back to the point this former government official was saying, trying to assess the political terrain and what is unfolding. He said, when the elephant is not in the town, that's when the little ones come and try to seize that moment to take control. Do you agree with him? The president, he's been out for a little while, and he will still be out because according to Molu, he was filtering around 17, 18, somewhere around there. That the opposition is not doing enough, whether they are a divided opposition, whatever the case. But by this time, the two main opposition where you have Cummings, Ambassador Boycott, should be aggressively moving in these battleground states and connecting with voters, making a case. But I mean, Cummings is, I don't know, where is Ambassador Boycott of late?
Mr. So, I take a different view of that. Yes, it's political ceasing, but Liberians are suffering. Liberians are hungry. And so, if you cannot...
let me not interrupt you. This suffering, hungry, things are hard, it's a reality. We've seen it is happening. And when you talk about things hard all over the world, but for the discussion purposes, we want to narrow it to Liberia. And I asked this question the other day. Is that enough because things are hard, these oppositions, they shouldn't connect themselves to the voter and kind of give them plain explanation why they should replace this sitting government? Are they doing enough? Or would just look at it, okay, yeah, things are hard, so at the end of the day, they're going to kick this government out. Is that a good strategy?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. They have to also be very careful. They have to be very, very careful how they deal with it, Mr. So. Because, like I said, things are hard, people are hungry. And the idea is, let it sink in with the Liberian people what exactly is happening to them. Campaign season will come, and we will remind them. We will remind the Liberian people what's happening. But right now, while Dr. Weah is out, you go out there and start campaigning. You'll see the men left here for all these weeks, all these days. People are hungry and things like that. You're politicizing the whole issue. It's not time. It's not time.
Politicians are skillful. You don't want to go out there and go tell people something. You're connecting with people. You have to find out. I mean,
I think to be honest with you, of all of the politicians, and I'll say all three, the three heavyweights, in as much as I hate to say it, because I'm not a member of ANC. I think Kumi is making headway, and I think Kumi is connecting. You know me, Mr. So I bear out here say Kumi had no connection in Liberia. That's always been my argument. That Kumi can never be elected.
Is that changing gradually?
Yes, it's changing. But not my support, though. It's changing. And I'll be truthful. Even if I don't support him, I'll be truthful. I think he's connecting. In that, Dr. We are in CDC, their behavior and their inept behavior, and they are unable to, they don't have the ability to lead. That is causing Liberians to now look somewhere else for leadership. And that kinds of thing, here's the thing they're looking at. They look at, and then I'll be very honest with you. Even though I admire Dr. Bakai, but I'll be truthful. When they look at those, the area for looking somewhere for new leadership and stuff like that, they look at Ambassador Bakai. Who does he have? Benda Ure. Oh, okay, we've been there, we've done that, we know. Who else? Oh, my own sister, Nyongli. Lpr-Tv, oh, they split right now. The people can help us. You know, when people start asking these kinds of small questions, start connecting people behavior to dollars, the general people around you, then it's become a little bit difficult. But when they look at Cummings, okay, we see little stability.
Could you check at Cummings today? Just almost the same point that you are making reference to was he was on Louis Brown today.
Yeah, yes.
I'll play that a little bit. I'll play that, but go ahead.
But that's you know, when they look at Cummings, they see little stability. And not only do they see little stability, they see, and Cummings people are arguing, but the kind of argument is weak from the other people. Excuse me, guys.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. From the other people, okay? The other argument is, well, he been a corporate member, corporate, you can't transfer. No, that's not the point. That's not the point. Mr. So I had some serious research here that I did on Cummings. Cummings being in corporate America does not equate to being president of the Republic of Liberia. Far from it. From being president of the Republic of Liberia is a demotion anyway. Because you got people cussing you, people want to be you and things like that. You in corporate America, they don't do that. Leadership in Liberia, to be president of Liberia, you got to have a different language for people to understand. But the point that I'm making here, Mr. So, the overall point that I'm making here is Cummings is getting traction, number one. And when people look around and they say, okay, Cummings has little stability. Even though Musa Ability and the rest of the people are still making noise here about code, but the entire ANC, they have stability. Look at Unity Party the other day. When they got together, you saw how much chaotic things were. The people look at those things. It's not, there's no step. They seem like Unity Party, there's no stability.
So in essence, it's a two-way street. Seditions can also make that argument. They can also capitalize and point out those things. They disclose within these other political, the opposition as well. Would I hope a deeper word?
No, they can't. They can't bring that in there. They can't bring that. They cannot bring that in there to say CPP split. No, CPP split up because certain group with. I mean, I'm going back to my old saying again. Cummings got into CPP believing and trusting, and the Liberian politicians decided to show their ugly hands, being real nasty to Cummings. So you cannot equip that. That's not the unstable position to be in. If Cummings were part of that process, if Cummings has been in Liberian politics all this long, just like Benda Ure, you think that if he had not given position, to be close to something, you think he will allow himself to join them like Cummings did? No. Cummings went into I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe Cummings went into the CPP believing that if we put something on paper and we said this is what we agree on, people will respect it. forgetting to know that Liberian politicians ain't no paper business. They forget paper business. That you bought business, you learn, you leave it there and come here. No. This is the reason I'm saying that people. Mr. Soul, can I take this call, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me give you.
I don't know.
Let me get it. Okay, well, folks, there you have it. But the number is there, 682-433-8802. The program here this evening is All Things Considered, not necessarily to go in the directions of our conversation, the topic, whatever we are discussing here. There could be something that is concerning to you as a Liberian, and you want to speak your mind. You can call that number 682-433-8802. The number is also available via WhatsApp. You can call it just in case. If you're outside of USA, you can also get a number on WhatsApp as well to call and tell us. What are the opposition is doing enough? Yes, things have prices over the roof. It's happening the same way. When you buy a tin of milk here today, the next day, we're seeing how it looks like here. So the entire war is on edge in terms of the climate of the world and how things is moving. But are they doing enough? Should they be all out there outside of Monrovia? Their campaign managers, their party chairperson, they shouldn't be in Monrovia by this time. You don't want to cry. You don't want to take a bullhorn there. Oh, I can't vote for my man. But your presence as a political institution representing a political party, it speaks for itself. But everybody's in a kind of visual cycle in Monrovia, and they just think, or they believe that's where the higher vote is going to be coming from. That's where the boss is going to start. Are they doing enough, or are we just saying, okay, the president is out of the country, so the president is out of the country? Is that an argument? Because when you come to me to make such an argument, in as much I'm concerned, and I'm not getting the detail why he's out there. Eventually, when he comes, maybe, hopefully, we'll know. I don't know. We hope to get some information. But you, as an opposition, that's not what you're going to tell me. Oh, I want you to vote for me because the president left the country. He was out of the country for 2, 3, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. No, it's not a winning strategy. And I forecast here that's what they are leaning towards, and that's why they are relaxed, because they should be all out there to talk to people, to get used to them, so that when the president returns, and even when the CDC is going back there, they will have time to do a lot of cleaning up. And when you're doing cleaning up, you're doing damage control in politics now, then you're being distracted of your message. Then you are getting off track. And by the time, because of course, it's not going to go away, and you have to provide clarification. And the time you're going to be taking 1 day, 2 days, your opponent is ahead of you. But it looks like everybody's still waiting, or everybody's still sitting. Okay, the president also, they're doing their own thing. Is that a winning strategy? I listened to CDC, the new Code of Officers. You remember the other day they have their conventions, whether it was Nicodemus or type of convention, overnight event, whatever the case it is. Everybody take defense of their people position. Even the opposition did that today. When you call them here, they would justify the reason why it was conducted, and they would say, oh, this was done because it was done the right way. Everybody does that. Opposition, government supporters, whatever. They always defend the indefensible. It's a clear cut. We all know it. But is the opposition doing enough? Is the presence being felt by the people that they want to lead? Or are they waiting? I think it is time to seize the moment, to go all out there. The chairmen of these very political parties, they need to get their butt up they need to be outside of Monrovia. If I was Standard Berry or party chairman, you will only come to Monrovia maybe twice a week to come and make report to see. Let me see whatever data you're collecting. Let me see your effort, the presence, the structure being put in place in these grounds. I think the Lpr is okay. Let me see here. Let me bring in deliberate, but the number is there. You can also call in here. Yeah, so you know they all in their party chairman, all the executives, they're in there. By this time, they have party for operation. They're supposed to be spread out by this time. Divide the country into zone, into column. Be strategic in your campaign. Okay, maybe you're from the lower end or from the Nima belt. The people will listen to you, to language, dialect, vernacular, whatever it is. You and so person, this side, that's your corridor. Go out there, be the Jehovah Witness chief on that end. Go meet people. See what are the people are excited. Because I listened to one of the persons, somebody said, "Oh, I'll go register, but I will not vote." So people are feeling different. They are feeling it different. So there is a need that these politicians go out there to, first of all, to restore hope. And that hope is for them to see you, to have a conversation. Because it's just only one person saying that I want to register, but I'm not going to vote. I'm going to register, I'm not going to vote. We don't know how many persons, if we were to do a study, were to do a survey, bulk of the people, and not just only young people. A lot of people saying that because it's out of frustration, because they have been disappointed. They are not sure. Even those who coming, who proclaiming that they want to bring changes, now they're going to be the alternative to the CDC government. They are unsure with them because of all of what is hanging within their own system. So there are other thousands of people out there who will say, well, I'm not going to vote. If I vote, say, well, will do. Those people put in there, want to do the same thing. So that apprehension is there. There's a need to dilute, to erase, and get that notion up. They're not doing it. They're sitting down. They're waiting at the end of the day. Okay, things have prices going up. My child not going to school. Blah, 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 blah. We will win the election. And then Joy, we are Molo, the Tomofala, they take the whole country and start moving in and tell them and start telling them, say, hey, you know what? These people did not give us chance. See these people who want to leave us, see what is happening within. And then at the end of the day, the Leota Brown and the commissioners announced it, election statement finished. Then they were coming across and say they were cheated because they had a poor strategy, no good strategy, there's no contingency plan as to how they're going to get this election to the finishing line. Let me bring you in, the Liberal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you totally. But as I was saying earlier, I think let me go back to that and try to wrap that up. And that is, I believe coming. I mean, in as much as I am an admirer of Ambassador Bakai, but I think many people are now gravitating towards coming because perhaps they see some stability on that side, and so that's something.
When you say stability, somebody out there will be wondering what specifically.
Well, for example, if you in Monrovia, you will see coming billboard, see across the bridge, huge billboard. And those things don't come in isolation. The community themselves is aware of you putting that billboard up, and they might be in support of that. Other than that, they will vandalize it. So that's one reason. Another thing, when I mean stability, in his structure, in Cummings' structure, ANC political structure, so far so good. We have not heard any kinds of mishap like they have the last time with Unity Party. Unity Party had their gathering, and there were some issues. Liberty Party right now, they are not even together. So we don't see that in the ANC how to call it club right now. So that's what I mean by stability. But what you're saying, Mr. So, is quite correct. However, I will caution those that perhaps will want to start this process very quietly and do it effectively, I would say. However, the campaign season has not been announced yet. So whatever you're doing right now, you have to make sure your tone, your language, and your gatherings are all within the confines of the election laws. It's very important for people to understand that. And so I think.
But the other people, the opposition, I mean, the ruling establishment, they're campaigning vigorously. the law part for the most part, is being violated here. It's been
Yeah, you
violated.
might, you might think so. You might think that they they are campaigning. You can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. But I think the opposition right now, Cummings is going around the country.
Yeah,
He was in Maryland. He was in other places of Liberia, and right now, I think one of the things that I suspect and I think is happening, many of these people will try to travel to the United States or to the diaspora to sharpen their message, because here in the diaspora, they have people who, even if they don't agree with them, they will be respectful, to their view and allow them to express their view. So when it comes to these town hall meeting and what have you, they're sharpening their message and the tools and the delivering system of the how to deliver the message. Most of them, they're going to these room to strategize and say, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. So let's test it. So they come out here and test these things, I believe. So, but you will see when the campaign season starts, I think you will see a little bit vigors from these political leaders themselves, and I think it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting because the issue is which one of these political parties will tend to use surrogate a lot. In other words, the political leader themselves perhaps might not be willing to go to certain places and want to send surrogate in those areas to speak on their behalf. And those are the kind of things that I will be watching for. Once I start seeing that happening, then I know that person is in trouble.
You are injected a very great puzzle into this conversation this evening, talking about surrogate. You have to get a good communicator, someone who will connect, bring issues into reality and break it down in the simplest form, like you're doing some sort of a simplification of whatever math you're doing here. So let's start with your end, the guy that you support. Who do you think that he has that can be an effective surrogate for him to do the dirty work? Ambassador Bakar.
For who? For Ambassador Bakar?
Yeah, who do you see to be this?
I don't know that for sure because I'm not connected with them, so I don't know that for sure. Because they also seem to be in isolation, self-isolation. If I may say so, because I don't see Unity Party making rounds in the diaspora media or as much. Maybe in Liberia they do, and there again, Unity Party probably have decided among themselves. There's no vote in America. We're not going to waste our time over there. So who knows? But one of the interesting thing here is this, Mr. So. The other day when you had Louis Brown on here, Honorable Louis Brown on here, he says something that struck me as somebody who will quickly connect with the Liberian electorate voters than many other surrogates. Of all these people that I've heard speaking on behalf of a certain group here and there, Louis Brown was able to tell you how many districts in the entire country. I've never heard any other person coming out to say that number. And he broke it down. He even gave you the number in counties. He tells you, and I have to refer to paper here. He wasn't referring to paper. He said, Bon County 3. Bombing County 3. Bon County 7. On and on, like that. And the reason I'm bringing this up, Mr. So, it's not only because of his communication skills, but if you can identify those districts in these different counties, people like me will be impressed very easily, number one. But people in Liberia will say, oh, the men know our district in our own county. then maybe you understand what's going on. They will gravitate toward that person. And many of the surrogate from the other people, they have not seen that. I've not seen that. And also, what I've also noticed is specifically CDC and Unity Party surrogates, they're still stuck, it seemed to me, they're still stuck in the war room of the past election. They have not gotten out of it. And so when you listen to them talking, their emphasis on words, their pronunciation, their facial expression, their hand gesture, they all, like this, shaking themselves as though they're fighting. Whereas Louis Brown, you saw Louis Brown, every time you're talking, he's like, yeah, like this, quiet. And then when he's ready to talk, he tells you exactly what it is he wanted. Those are the kinds of stuff that I'm talking about when I say stability. That I'm not seeing in other surrogates, nor am I seeing it in other political party yet.
Okay, let's welcome a senior contributor, Ty, based in Minneapolis. He's also supported the candidacy of Councilor Tiawan Say Gongo, the poor man lawyer, right here in the USA. I don't know, he's consulting with a super PAC to get in financial equity. Election costs money a lot. Okay, Sister Goya is in the house. Sister, good evening.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. So? How you doing, Mr. To?
How you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah, we are tonight, all things considered. The first media throw out there what the opposition is doing enough. Just how the Liberal predicted the other day here that sedition will massively welcome their president. That was echoed in their chambers today. Chairman Molba Molu said they're going to lock down. They have changed the venue of their assembly from, I believe, Sport Complex. I believe it's kind of like bracket in with ANC, whatever, but that's a strategy, taking it to a much smaller place, 1 million people waiting to see it. But overall, the big guy is not in town. Is the opposition, including you, your guy, he's been going around. Are they doing enough to the extent that when the country giants return, that he needs to do some cleaning up? Or are we just going to wait to say, oh, okay, well, things have people not getting things, people not being taken paid and not getting not being there. Water and see what other public corporations, places, government. The other day I was shocked talking to somebody. I don't know. I tried to validate that information. Even the court, the judiciary, there's a serious problem there. So people there did not, even cases not going as it should be. But I hope to confirm that. But the bottom line is, are they really doing enough as it should be? You, as a person who have campaigned, I contested here, even though it's not in Liberia, but hey, these things are transferable in terms of if you want to win, you have to go extra mile, capitalize on any little thing. You don't want to wait until last minute of time.
But I think they're doing just what they need to do, though. You need to have the message to take hold. If you remember, we just came through, when I say we, I mean the U.S., just came through an electioneering period. And what the Republicans ran on was the idea of the economy failing. You're looking at inflation. You're looking at gas prices, and you're looking at, and they framed the law enforcement issue, a crime wave all over the place. That was their message, and they honed that. And almost every Republican candidate, that was their message. You're looking at inflation, and you're looking at crime. You're looking at inflation, you're looking at crime. The Democrats, on the other hand, even though Joe Biden has done quite a lot for the economy, and he's done quite a lot for working people in all of the passages to protect their benefits and wages, were really empowered and fueled by the Supreme Court decision regarding Roe v. Wade. And so that was also their message. So I don't think it's a bad thing to keep talking about what is not going right, because a lot of people will vote on pocketbook issue. Yes, it's been happening for a long time, but the more you talk about it, the more people feel pronounced. And then now you see that when Samuel Tuer used to speak before, people would say, Paku, you strong. Now there's less Paku, you strong, because now people are telling them, yeah, okay, you're telling us that there was a surplus in the budget. How come people are not getting paid? You're telling us that, you know, that we forecast we got this much money. How come you came to power and said people will not make less than $100, but people are making $43 to take home? So the message, the economic message, has to continue to be preached. And like the Liberal said, this is not your electionary period, so there's only that much you can do, you know, before you fall afoul of the of NEC. And so you have to continue to talk about what is affecting the people, what are the pocketbook issues that affecting the people. We have, you know, we have to the point where a government is having a major press conference to talk about dates that got donated by Saudi Arabia, right? How many people in Liberia eating dates? We're looking for rice. And you're there talking about that. But I do also think, however, that opposition political parties, because they want to keep talking about the economy, they forget some other stuff, right? So I don't know if you saw the press release from yesterday regarding Minister Samuel Toy, his accident. And now he has to be flown, him and his wife will be flown to Turkey. So after they first went to Phoebe. Now Phoebe is a major referral hospital if you're in rural Liberia, right? If you're from Lofa, from Bon County and the other counties, people run to Phoebe. So his situation was only to be stabilized at Phoebe and then taken to JFK. And then they got to JFK, they realized that, well, they need more stuff. And so now they're flying out of the country. Take a common Liberian person who would have been involved in similar accident, right? Their last stop probably would be Phoebe. If they got to JFK, if that would be the end of it. And so opposition politicians have to start talking to the Liberian people, let them know how many of you are financially able to go from Phoebe to JFK to Turkey. Right? When people are seriously defunding Phoebe Hospital, taking money from Phoebe Hospital, taking money from JFK and putting it into other stuff, calling it the pro-poor agenda. Or when people are Jr. or, you know, or the like of McGill can bury his mother in a mausoleum that's worth way so much money that money would have been used to bring in equipment or train more doctors so that he didn't have to fly to Turkey. They have to start doing that. I think we said last week, the WIAG resetter took place, right? People didn't even announce. So the government of Liberia education plan, people fail the West African Examination Council test, and you are planning a resetter. What went into that plan? What did the Ministry of Education do? What was the requirement for those schools to help remediate those students? Because just failing means you missed out on something. So what plans were there? What community initiatives? What initiatives by the Ministry of Education went into getting these people prepared to go and reset? Or is it just right after the test, the people went and walk about the other thing and they came back and went and reset the test? And people keep talking about this government, you know, they pay tuition and they pay for WIAC fee. Paying for WIAC fee is not the end of it. When people fail WIAC and they have to go reset, what is the policy towards that? But nobody's talking about that because the opposition, again, there is way too many things that this government is doing wrong. So I guess you can only pick a few things to talk about. But to your point, to your question, the opposition is doing what they got to do. They're doing, I think, what they can do, given that you have to be very careful and tightly walk around the NEC guidelines about electioneering.
Okay, so let me play this here. Talking about surrogate. Okay, quickly, let me get your take here because the Liberal kind of like us found on here, but let me get your take. Which of these groups, as far you are concerned, saying some of people, do they have the kind of surrogate to do their dirty work? To point out some of those ills and kind of put it there, and then when the going gets tough, somebody will kind of like stabilize it. Do they have real surrogates? Does it matter in the Liberian politics, you think?
Well, they do, and surrogates do matter in all politics because the reason for a surrogate is the major reason for a surrogate is twofold. One, you have somebody who is words-versed on policy. Again, the president or the presidential candidate is not supposed to know everything in depth. They're supposed to know very little about a whole lot of things. But then you bring those surrogates who, in most cases, are expert communicators in certain fields or in a lot of fields. That's the first piece. So you got experts who are communicating in certain things. And then the second benefit of that is that it provides plausible deniability because there is a degree of separation between the surrogate and the candidate. If the surrogate says something that really goes off and is crazy and you have a lot of people coming and condemning it, the presidential candidate has that luxury, right, to come out and say, we condemn what this person said. They weren't speaking for us. They wasn't speaking for the political party. We are disappointed in them. As a matter of fact, we're suspending them, or we're doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But if that same thing came from the candidate himself or herself, then the candidate cannot come and distance himself or herself from what he or she said. And you cannot suspend yourself. And so that is the benefit of having those are the two major benefits of having surrogates. And that's why people do that, because you inoculate, you create a buffer whenever something goes wrong or something is said wrong between what is being said, that policy issue that's been articulated, and the candidate that's running.
Okay. Let's see it. Talking about people, Jefferson Tambakoji, the sitting city mayor of the city of Monrovia, in the recent convention, he is the Secretary General now of the Congress for Democratic Change. He didn't hold back today. He took on somebody to see as a potential threat. He tries, and he kind of like define. He tries to define him, and I think let's listen to that courtesy of our sister networks, Front Page Africa. Let's listen to Jefferson Tambakoji. Okay, there you business. Let me something here. Let's go for it.
Our ever-potent, never-relenting, serious partisan of the Mounted Congress of Democratic Change. Our friend on the Pope Estate, we want to say this is where you can consider as home in Liberia, on the grounds of the Mounted Congress of Democratic Change. We want to use this time to extend our deepest appreciation to God Almighty for His unspecified grace on the people of this party, and on even those who disagree with us and who wish us downfall. We want for God to extend their life so they can witness our progress, and so they can be tested, they can be witnessed to some of the things that we will achieve while they are alive. We also want to say thank you to our just ended 7 Congress Organizing Committee Chairperson Anthony Alexander VCS City. When I was sitting down, I heard that even Joe Biden is very, very pleased by the way he conducted these elections. And not be surprised, this man has wanted himself an opportunity to help and share his knowledge in conducting transparent and credible elections in America. And we are not here to argue with you. This man is the only person who conducted an election in an open space where the press were physically, some of them were serving a full watch of these elections. We want to say thank you, Anthony, VCS City, and you along with your court of officer. So today you come to present it. Even journalists who disagree with you, is presently here carrying alive to tell you how this party is the symbol of tolerance. On the day of this process, when we're conducting this process, our good friends and those who are what you call beneficiaries of this institution must have the cost and the fortitude to disagree with the process. But we are not bothered about that. The real debate was the stakeholders of this process who took and examined themselves on the 15 political subdivisions of this country. Some of them wrote backs to come here. The fact that they acted in accordance with what the Magna Carta of this institution require, we were certainly not bothered. In fact, we were entertained by those disagreements and expressions. Today, we are very glad that Chairman City, thank God, Chairman City is so transparent. He conducted a process, and today he has dissolved himself with no power. So the party has returned to the hands of the leaders. So the Congress have gone and have laid this usefulness. We want to say we thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for your foresighted-ness to look among the many partisans and to select men and women with the courage and expertise to deliver. Today you are here, we ask you to join us. This process will be very short. I have come to usher the way of the most powerful person of our party, Candidate Boba Kemalu, to give you clear direction of our activities in the next couple of days. But before that has been orchestrated, we'd like to say a resounding congratulations to Your Excellency and the standard bearer of the People Liberation Movement, the Mountain Coalition for Democratic Change, for again enjoying an overwhelming support of his people. But we want to let the word to go forth to our friends and our international community. We want to tell them thank you for observing this process. We also want to say thank you for tons of emails around the world are commending this process, and they are asking us, even Solomon Yabado is asking that the CDC can send experts so that we can teach them what democracy is about. Being a Liberian democracy, a democracy in which a process will be conducted, and journalists will serve as full watcher in that process. And even the partisans will go back and take ownership. And that's why you see today, our partisans have been well pleased with the workings of our leadership. I want to say thank you. Informing you that thank you to all our friends, Ambassador Nia Monrovia, international friends, civil societies who are attending this process, youth and student communities. We want to say thank you. We extend an invitation. And they were here. We want to say thank you for witnessing one of the most transparent process. It is the people's process. You know, when you join the government of the people, you don't have to worry about timing. It's about the government expressed, the compassion of the people. And that's why it was done. And when you fall short of it, don't hold responsible. What we run here is not a party, it's a movement. If you are unable to deal with the people you have arranged, we should not be an author of your own misfortune. So please, do not in any given circumstances envy what is taking place here. The best way to respond, we challenge them. Go and conduct the process. That's all you need to do. Don't worry about us. Go and conduct the process and wait and see the result from our process.
We our Congress, we our SD, we our chairman, movement. Aluta.
Thank you. So I want to say to you that to our friends on the other side, all our policies once they come back home. What do I stand like on the branch to you?
Okay.
There's no situation bigger than this pocket.
Just okay. There's something up here. Let's see here. Maybe olive branches are being extended. Let's see here. I'm trying to get us something here.
Well, thank you, Chairman. We'll soon be
Okay.
for our friends out there.
All right. Let's talk about it here. Probably I sleep over where he really took a shot at Louis Brown. And he decided to remind people. I know most of you guys and even the folks they listened to that as well. So Jefferson Tambakoji is the new Secretary General of the Congress for Democratic Change. Sierra Leone is calling on them to send experts to teach them the basis of democracy. It's good for Liberia. Liberia now is being called neighboring country calling Liberia to teach them the basic laws of democracy. The liberal, Sese, I see you kind of like, what are you bothered with? Let me bring in the man from the far right. Amos George is here.
Trouble enter the house.
Yeah, Mr. So.
Sese.
Yeah.
Anakrume. They say peace or inherit on that crewman end of there. Anakrume. Uh-huh.
You sure you're not crew man the way you responding to Cesar, you sure you're not crew man?
No, I just trying to because you told me they turning the coming the horn. I said no, oh man, Anakrume. But the people say peace or inherit on that crewman enter there.
Oh, okay. No, Mr. So, I for a minute that I thought CDC have hijacked their program for us to listen to Jefferson Coach's spiel bunch of what here. To be honest with you, and the first thing I feel he's not serious. Now, if you listen to Coachy, and maybe he didn't play everything, but just from the beginning, not once did he mention anything about Samuel 12 accident. In all, he thanking God and asking God for prayer and things like that. I thought you were going to extend that to Samuel 12. He didn't do that. But yes, the other interesting thing, and I've been telling the young man to go back to school, not listening to me. Listen to what he said. He said here, with the people fortitude and some courage, if you praising somebody fortitude and their courage to engage, and then he said, but it didn't bother us. So those two things. No. I don't. If they have the courage and they have the fortitude, the kahuna to engage you, that means you really admire that person's ability to do whatever it is that they were doing. But then at the end, he said, no, but it didn't bother me at all. If it didn't bother you, how will you recognize the courage? How will you recognize the kahuna that person had for it not to bother you? But that's just the few things. Then on top of that, for Sierra Leone to ICDC, not only Sierra Leone, his first thing he said, Joe Biden say he liked the election result. The CDC election result reached the White House, Joe Biden. Like Joe Biden ain't got nothing much. The war in Ukraine shaking them up. They're coming to battle CDC where the president go for 48 days, and they're having some kind of CDC convention election behind that. Then Joe Biden CDC is doing real well. And these are kinds of Mr. So before these two gentlemen came on here, I was telling you earlier. There are those who put this president in a bubble, and these are some of the things. Mayor Koji is not being truthful. Mayor Koji is not telling sedition. There are challenges. We can see the problem you people are facing. We all face the same thing, but we're doing our best. But for you to come and present to CDC as though everything in there is fine. When it rained and when he was speaking, as soon as it started raining, it will be difficult for some of the seditious to get out of the parking lot because the mud going to be all over their shoes. So those are kinds of stuff you have in a country that people know you're not serious. You're not serious. If you're serious, you will come out and be sincere with your people, your brothers and sisters. Mr. So I don't even know why we're even discussing.
No, we have to talk about it, because this is where the falsehood comes in, and those kind of messages also resonate with people. So if we do not talk about it, people think it's just going to go away.
But this is what I'm talking about. These people take advantage of the real CDC, the real sedition, their involvement with CDC. It is not, if you hear some of these young people talking, CDC is my life. These people believe in that. And people that they are coaching and take advantage of that.
Okay, let me bring in Sisse. This is one of the words from time to time, not just only surrogates, not only officials of government, but radio talk show hosts, supporters of the government. The word envy, because when you throw that word out there in the public domain with ordinary Liberian, the envious Sissy, the envious Pa George, it means you're doing something and they are just jealous of you. You're doing it the right way, but for no reason you have been hated. This is the word that is. I've been following their trend. There's a pattern here. They are using this word here. And you even hear that when people are even defending the president, when it is sometimes indefensible, what do they say? They envy him. They jealous of him. They are haters. Now, this is a Secretary General, incoming Secretary General using that. How do you think such a war would play out to the ordinary, our people outside of the country, not outside the country, urban to Liberia? If people tell them, you see the people, they hate that man, or they jealous of him. When people talk that in rural Liberia, when people talk that in my village, it means a lot. It means a lot. How can we handle that?
So let me answer your question directly, then I'll touch on a few things. Yesterday when we had an interview, remember the conversation I had? I said the presidency creates the continent. The president himself released a music called Mr. Lion-Man. In my own country, they're trying to track me down because people are jealous of him. And so the presidential press secretary released a press statement that people are jealous of the president for going to see his son because somebody and they ain't go see their own children. So Jefferson Koji talks about envy. And those are the markings of a failed government, because if they have something to point to, they will be pointing to it instead of talking about envy. They will be talking about the 1 billion jobs they promised that the pro-poor agenda was going to bring about. They were going to talk about the completion of the Bali Island. They were going to talk about the hair factory that the first lady went to. Remember way back, she took some children into China. There was supposed to be, I know that she better put children in myself. We got to answer that question. But that hair factory is not yet dead. Right. So for me, I that envy thing is the CDC way of creating smoke stream. But having said that, I'm not one person that's going to sit here and try to really dissect the eloquence or the lack thereof of my uncle Tambakoji, because I really ain't got time to take that kind of headache. Thank God the Liberal won't take it, because it's an exercise in futility. Having said that, though, in a serious political organization where the Secretary General controls the Secretariat that is going to deal with a lot of political rhetoric, political communication. Just like Tambakoji, there's a remedy for that. So you can tell the CDC is playing, they're joking. But there are certain things I want to point out. If you listen to Tambakoji speak, talked about the other people, and he told them to, they told them with me about it. You can tell that there is a divide in the CDC. He's speaking to the other people who did not think he should be Secretary General. And he's talking about pool washers and the press, the fourth estate being there, and how you have pool washers to a convention that was held overnight, in the middle of the night. Who went there? And I can understand that this brother lacked, like what the liberal was trying to say, just tact, understanding what he said before this sentence, prior before this sentence. How do you invite diplomatic entities, foreign governments, because he said the embassies were there to observe. So are the embassies going to observe the internal workings of
a political party?
So did he invite now foreign government interference into the Lebanon political system? Is that what he's saying? Or is he saying that they didn't trust themselves? They understood that people were saying they were going to cheat, so much so that they had to bring ambassadors or the representatives to watch what's going on. Either way, it doesn't argue well. Somebody needs to tell this my uncle that he has to stop speaking, or at least allow a lot of people to look at his work before he puts it out there. So when he talks about Sierra Leone inviting and Joe Biden, I don't know if that's buffoonery or that's just, because that's not political rhetoric. And he's my uncle. I don't want to say he lied, but my uncle ain't that truth. My uncle ain't that. Yeah, I want to make sure.
Somebody about to tell your uncle that you're uncle. That I guarantee.
My uncle didn't say the truth, right? And the last part I wanted to point out here, the liberals struck on something about Samuel Twe. But do you know the biggest elephant that was missing from this whole thing? Did anybody once allude to McGill, Nathaniel McGill, in that entire thing? He's not there. And the CDC before, look at the crowd, look at the people that were there, look at their enthusiasm. That CDC can be like that before. CDC. They will be having a convention where the presidential candidate, the standard bearer, is in foreign land. They're endorsing, they're electing men behind his back. You're having a convention where you're sending people notices 6 hours before the convention is here. How did you get all those people from Roa G, from Plebo to come to Monrovia at that short notice? And you have convention from 10 in the night to 4 o'clock in the morning. How do you show yourself credible? And he's there talking about, I guess maybe because the diplomatic corps was going to be there, they didn't want people seeing the American ambassador, so they made it that time of the night, I guess. But this speaks to the unseriousness of CDC, and this is what the opposition political bloc has to be united about, pointing out this unseriousness that is being exhibited by the ruling political establishment.
Okay. Amos George.
Yes, sir.
Sisse has been very diplomatic. He's a traditionalist, like myself. He can't tell his uncle, I don't want to go there. But you defy conventional wisdom the other day.
Sisse, how you doing? Mr. To, Mr. So, how you doing? That I just call it my phone audio when I saw Jefferson Koji. I didn't even let him to open him. I just cut it off.
Oh,
but there is a danger that we're playing with. There's a danger that we're playing with. This is how trouble comes into the country. You see what had happened. I sat down and tried to wrap my hand around it. First thing, these guys had troubled the party. Moba Molu, Thomas Fala, Jefferson Koji, where they from? They're from Lofa. And you see the power they have grabbed in the party. They're from Lofa. All three of them. That's the first click. And that is the sign of failure. Secondly, You know, but whether you know what the dictionary got gaslighting, it's not strange. Mobile Molu said that President Raw was a Nigerian man. That was the first Nigerian that Liberian made president. Instead of him saying the whole truth that history said that this man's parent was of a Negro descent, believed to be an Igbo man, his parent. And how many of us around the world, they are not connected to other groups? But Mawamo framed that thing that the two-week party elected a Nigerian national to be president of Liberia. That was Mobile Molu. So when Jefferson Question is seeing this thing, it's not surprising to me because he taking it from Mobile Molu playbook. Lying like that. Lying like that broad day, and people are there cheering him. This is the danger. Let me say, did you hear Wilson Tapper? Did he see Wilson Tapper around there?
No, the way you were there.
Around there, some metro is not well. None of those people. The people who were the backbone of CDC. Eugene Nangwe is out of the country. But other steward of that party.
Akara's great.
Akaya Gray, Solomon George, all those guys. You know, so none of them around, and they didn't even bother to mention the name. You can see that organization is crumbling. It's crumbling. The man that you're supposed to renominate as a standard bearer of the party, he's not in the country. How can you hold a convention that the man who is president is not participating in that convention? If he were ejected as an observer, he's not there. I said that you people have the convention overnight. And you tell the Liberian people, oh, sir, don't want to ask you about your election. This is very serious. These are the people who would not want to relinquish power even through a fair and democratic election. These guys had tested power, and that's why I'm saying there's a danger involved. We all know Jefferson Koji's rhetoric about violence. So you can see that there is a divide that these other guys, they are not part of this group, they are not Harlano. We are the Harlano who will take charge of the party. And now they will come down, they will succumb to us. That is the message Jefferson Koji, Mobile Molu, Thermofire, they are sending to the other people who they perceive as seniors in the party. Now they have sidelined. Look at men like Lester Tenney, Dr. Tenney. None of these people were around. And the worst thing is President Weah. Was he in the know of that kind of convention? And if so, what did he say? Or he playing a good cop, bad cop. You'll do it. If anything, they will come to me. You'll do anything. If they will come to me, I will be responsible to answer them. Because the party national convention cannot and will not and should not be within the access of the president. Not in the know. So my question here is President Weah saying he didn't know anything about this thing? Or if he did, he think if that's the way out for a party to survive, that you say you want to bring the people together, your parties together, is that the way? You are creating more division within that institution than ever before. Because when you come back, that when the ranking going to start in that party. And maybe President Weah, you may not be able to control it. You think maybe this group is in your interest, but they are putting in a corner that will be difficult for the president to handle. And let me just close on a note. You know that word, the envy, the jealousy. You know, it all comes from people who never had anything, who have stolen from the people. And they always have the eyes over their head, shoulder, thinking that someone going to come after them. So that's why you see they come with they envy us. So people who don't know, and we say, oh yes. People who are naive, who cannot see beyond, they will say, oh yeah, these guys came to power, these young guys, and the old people are jealous in them because of what they have accumulated. But not knowing, that's not it's not bad, because these guys, they have stolen what they never thought of getting in their life sincerely. So therefore now, they try to cry victim that people envy us. That is the line these guys are pushing. But I can tell Jefferson County, all of them, they should pray God. It's not come either one of the people come to power. They will not need that country. They will audit every one of them.
Oh.
Yes.
They will not what? They will not leave the country?
No. You turn it over, you're supposed to stay there for the next 6 months. This is corruption that is killing the country.
Would they commit themselves to doing that?
But they have to commit themselves. The government are coming to power must commit themselves. It's not witch hunting.
Well, no, I know.
You stay I said for 4 years. You stay at the Ministry of Finance for maybe 4 years. Why do you think the government should not audit you? When there's no audit report from that ministry to tell the government every year this is what we did, how expenditure was dispersed. So a serious government will put their phone and say, hey, gentlemen, we're not wishing on anything. When the others don't, you clear, you can go anywhere you want to go. But you must be here to answer questions to the records, because you were the only person that did for the past 6 years. We can't let you go outside and start making noise. No, stay here. You didn't do it for the other regime or their business, but for us, this is the pattern.
All right. As we are winding down, this audit business here, any of these candidates, have they put themselves on record for that? I'm not saying, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Are they kind of like really draw that fine line, or is it too soon to do it because people will see like going after opponent as a vision, even though that's not the case. People should be. An audit is just to verify, to make sure to know if I'm coming in as a minister, as a director, where we are, where we start, and what am I starting with. But it sounds like people crushing people in the hair or stuff like that, which is not a bad thing. Should they come up there and make these sort of pronouncement?
Mr. So before I take on that question, let me just add on back to Jefferson Kochi and the envious statement. I think Jefferson Kochi and his people, if they play their card well, I think it's going to benefit them in terms of the envious statement. Because look in Liberia, all of the churches, the preachers, they don't pray for God to save people nowadays for them to come to church and see the goodness of God. Everything, somebody behind you. People cannot die in Liberia for free anymore. You can't get sick and die. Somebody ain't got to be in it. Enemy somewhere. So when you hear Jefferson Kochi and the rest of the people talking about envious and stuff like that, there are people who will be listening and say, yeah, maybe that's true because the people in power and the other people not in power. That's how they're trying to frame it. So I think it is the responsibility of opposition as well, not necessarily to engage them in that particular slogan or whatever they want to say, but to also educate our brothers and sisters why they want to take power, and not because of hate, but because things are not being done correctly. And as all of you have stated here correctly, which is these people, they got nothing to offer. If there was electricity in Liberia, all over the country, if there's a running water in the city of Monrovia, if there's a sanitary poo ground in the city of Monrovia, and now on the beach, you think people, they will talk about envies? They will start listing all of the things they have done. But the fact they don't have it, so they find somebody to blame causing the next thing are coming, and I'm going to predict that. The reason why we are not successful because people here were in a greater breach. There are people that are going to send in society and pray, making sure we're not successful. So whenever we try going for investor come here, they're scared. They see the red devil. That how the people making us to do stuff. So I'm not going to be surprised if that kinds of statement come from them because they got nothing to offer. They got nothing. How are you going to have a convention, which a year or so you're going to be election, and even if you're going to have convention next year, close to an election period, you should be able to have a convention where you will lay out the platform, where everything that you want this government to do will be in that paper, where everything this government have done that you're proud of will be part of that process. People, you got guest speaker coming to enumerate all of the good things that the government have done. Then they say some people here they have the fortitude and the courage, but it bother us. That when he used that word fortitude and courage, but it bother us. That different way he thinking about no fortitude and courage. Because if somebody do something to you, it bother you. That means that's something bad. But fortitude and courage, they don't go together. But anyway, let me go to your state question, Mr. So, and that is the opposition. When you talk about auditing, they have to be very careful because the understanding and the educational level in the country is not the same. They're not on the same level. Everybody are not the same in terms of how they understand auditing process. Now, if you come across as wanting to audit the people because they were in government before and they need to show how to spend the money, you have to bring people who Liberians themselves would trust to get involved in that process. But if you come in as a new government, then you pick somebody who Liberians have already have some sort of a judgment against to come now to investigate. People can wrap the Liberian flag around themselves and you will not be able to touch them. You'll make all the noise you want. If the people are not behind you, you're not going anywhere. But if you come across and people who are trusted by Liberians to get involved, and their reason of being involved is not because we want to know whether the person own the money or they own the house. No, but these are the money that been coming into this country. How these money was spent. First of all, before you even establish that kind of committee or any kind of investigative team, you must first start making your round to explain that we have to do this. So we know how much money came in and what we spend it on, so we don't repeat the same mistake. Frame it that way so that Liberia will feel being part of the process of resolving some of these things for future generation. If you frame it as such, I think you'll be successful. Then they say, oh, people are in over here, we want to know all the money they're carrying, well, what are they doing here? Then if you come across like that, you'll now fall into their trap of witch hunting. That would be my suggestion on that, Mr. So.
Okay. So you get a point to add?
Yeah, so I don't know why it's wrong to hunt witches, though. Yeah, why? Let's
in order for you to hunt witches, you yourself have to be part of the witches in order to recognize who they are. And if you're not a witch, then how do you know this person is a witch? You don't need to, because you're not a witch. And you're going to say this is a witch, then you're hunting the person who you think is a witch, who is not a witch, because you don't know who the witch is. That's the reason.
You are liberal. We're not going to kill that brother down.
So let me tell him to say, oh.
No. So here's the thing.
But he don't show up. He's watching you. You know, you were backing, so you can say everything you want to say about a liberal. That's okay.
Mr. To, you asked the question, how do I know a witch if I'm not a witch? How do I know a doctor if I'm not a doctor? How do I know you're an engineer if I'm not an engineer? How do I know a press person if I'm not a press person? You look at characteristics. There are symptoms. There are signs and symptoms. I don't have to be a witch to know a witch. That idea in Liberia is not found there or anything logical. I do not have to have gone to the Pearl Society to know members of the Pearl Society. When they walk outside, the people that are outside, no, they're the member of the Pearl Society. So my problem here is we've always been afraid to hold people accountable because we're afraid to hunt witches and wizards. Let's go hunt them. If you make yourself a witch, you should be hunted. Look, government is not like these, EULA, and no disrespect to EULA or the Liberal Organization in Minnesota, and no disrespect where, we say, oh, my man, all the money you got, you can't tell, all the grant you got, this is that. The evidence is there. The countries that are donating their debt. Right now, Liberia is still paying back to the Norwegian government for some money that is sent that the Indian government misappropriated. The evidence is there. So we don't have to say, oh, let's go check and see how much money came in the country and how people use it. It's not hard to get there. Number two, you do lifestyle audit, like Tiawan Gonglo has been talking about. We know the mayor of the city of Monrovia, how much money you make, what's your benefits by law. And so we look at how much wealth you accumulated, and you answer for those. If A plus B does not give us D, and we add A plus B, you give us D, then we tell you where the C went. So this is just easy. And the other thing is, look, the Liberal made a point that I really agree with about educating our people. I don't like quoting Yega Kolba, but I'm going to quote Yega Kolba, and this is particularly crude because when he was answering a journalist about rice not being available, and this journalist kind of sounded partisan, and he said, "Oh, they say rice is available, and I just come from eating rice." And Yega Kolba said, and I quote, "Yeah, if the people in plastic by the tie, you always say that imported donor." The message there was that there are people who will fail to see the thing right in front of them, and people can do smokes and mirror in front of our people's faces. And I think that's what Labor was talking about, where people say, oh, the witch hunting us, they're coming after us. You have to be able to explain to the people why this thing in the bag is not imported donut. You have to explain to the people, look, if JFK, if Nathaniel McGay had not built a mausoleum for his wife, for his late mother, and Bakugbe Jr. had not had that $1.5 million from money put into a personal account, that money could have been used to support JFK and Phoebe Hospital, so that Samuel Tuer would not have to have left Phoebe Hospital and then come JFK. And if he came to JFK, would not have to go to Turkey. So we can explain why those 8 people that died in Nimba County would not have had to die because they would have a ferry. We can explain a lot of reasons why the corruption took away from education, corruption took away from healthcare, corruption took away from police training, corruption took away from the training of the EPS that resulted in them shooting unarmed civilians. You can tie all those things. Corruption took away from sanitation process, right? Having sanitary process where our people will have respectable places to go and ease themselves. Corruption took away from having pipe-borne water, so we stay drinking from well water and having these worms in our stomach, right? So you can explain that, and it takes a credible person to explain that, because you're right, Liberal. If you are not credible and you try to explain that, it creates a problem. But we are not lacking for credible people in this race. Tiawan Gonglo is there, Alexander Cummings is there. We are not lacking for credible people to do. But I think you're right, Labor. The conversation has to be had. But for me, I'm not afraid of people hunting witches.
Ambassador Baka is there, another credible person.
Yeah, come on, papi. I say he's not credible. I was just naming some people. I know there are plenty of people that are credible, but I didn't have the time to name all the people there. So, yeah.
The one on top of my head that I call. The one on top of my head that I call. Oh, something. Well, let me tell you, this liberal attitude, we're not going to accept that thing anymore again in Liberia. No way, no form, no shape, no manner. We have to tell people as it is. Liberia knows about audit. Those who support any region that is corrupt, they will never accept anything that you want to bring to light. They will always say it's not fair.
And I think you just put it into context. That's the same problem. That's why sometimes these people, when they're talking about government, are like, you guys need to shut your mouth. We have this organization here, people eat money when they go to it, say we're the same people. Yeah, they leave it. Moving on where? Then how? That's the same moving on. They're moving on there because they want to do. Oh no, they're gonna witch hunt there. You're not witch hunting. People should be held accountable. This
Look at
country here, you owe the people 1 cent. They send the credit people will call you. They will send you a mail. In your right, it's a 2 cent. And when they owe you, they send it back to you.
But here's what both you two are missing.
Hold on.
Mr. Central Right and the far right. This is where your conservative idea is not going to be successful. Even though many Liberians, I believe 85 to 90% of Liberians are conservative. I agree. But here's what I'm saying. If you come to this position and say we're not going to sugarcoat anything anymore, that's fine. That's fine, but you're not going to get cooperation.
No.
From many Liberians.
No.
And where do you go? Nowhere.
No, something. So let me tell you. That's why I say your labor, you're the one spoiling that country. You don't need to get cooperation from any Liberian. The fire when you're doing the right thing, you'll find support. Do the right thing. Yeah, it's the thing here. People go and steal people's money. They rob fabulous car. They deprive all the people I see on list. I don't have to go through it. They deprive citizens of everything to improve their life. But when someone can say, look, let's order this man. Oh, the man want to wish hunt the man. He's not out of the country. Let him sit down there and answer. Then you say, well, 1 + 1 was 2. But we see 3 here. What happened? You explain your side of the story. This is the same thing about the $16 billion issue. Some people were in Lofakan again preaching the same man that the people lie. And you know something too, you got that document right there. The Crow report was irregularity.
Mr. Central, I don't mean to interrupt, but how do you convince this person who stopped Mr. So just put up? Listen to what he's saying. Hypertension people to get together to talk about nothing because of their jealousy. What city do you get that I'm jealous of? No, I'm just giving you an example. So there are many of these kinds of people.
So yeah, this is what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Peter, I'm not really like putting you on the spot. I mean, you have a right to your opinion, but this is what is playing out. People coin this, when somebody said jealous of you, envious you, the connotations of these words, it is a long laundry list. Our people get scared. You and I can look between the lines to say, but what am I jealous? What is there to be jealous? But not the old lady, not the old man there, not the person who can really argue out. So it is a challenge. Gentlemen, we gotta leave it there for this.
Yeah, so let me just say the Crow report, you got it right there. President, we are instituted another report by Paul Coffey. They submitted a similar report that there's a further need to do an investigation. But Samuel Tua was in Lofa telling the people how Liberians can lie. They said that 16 million were missing and the report came and vindicated them. Okay. Can you imagine Samuel Tua, the man was delivering a conventional address of a college, lying like that.
Thank you so much. We're going to be back here on Friday.
And by the way, real quick, that same college, they cut the funding to that college because they said Lofakan didn't vote for them. When we told them we needed a technical vocational school in their college, they refused. You know who raised the money to build a $65,000 technical vocational college? We did. I, as the sitting national vice president of the Lofa Association in the Americas, we raised $65,000 to build a TVET over there when the government refused. But he's going there now to go and speak at a commencement. You see the hypocrisy, and people talk about hate, that you shouldn't talk about stuff like that. And then the last piece is for me, I'm waiting to see the accident report for what happened on Alofa Highway, because the vehicles were badly damaged from both front and back. I'm really waiting to see that police report and see the accident report.
Sister, don't wait for it. I spoke to some people.
All right, guys, have a pleasant evening.
But yes, the truth is, so you know that they left the driver and the security in Liberia.
And they say the people are not too serious. They're injured not too serious.
Everybody. Look, let me tell you now. In society, when some people die, the world trembles. People hear it. By the time, but some people when they die, before you get to know, they finish burying, everything finished. So their leader want them will go. So everybody knows.
Okay.
Guys,
Thank you, Mr. Soul, and good night.
All right, folks, that's how we're going to bring the curtain down here this evening. To all our viewers, listeners, your comments, your tweets, thank you so much. And all of you to always be here. To the Honorable Willen K. Glaze, Senior, thank you so much for joining us. Peter, Solo, and all of you. Emmanuel Jackson, Henriette, I thought we want to say thank you so much for your commitment to this network. Manamara Pate, thank you so much. Tyan Sylvie from the Garden State of New Jersey, thank you so much for your time this evening. That's how we're going to bring the curtain down here this evening. Until then, by God's willing, same time, same network, we'll be back here. In the interest of African solidarity, we take you to La Côte d'Ivoire this evening as we sign off. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.